Hey, welcome back to another edition of the Buck Junkie podcast. We're back in the studio once again. What's happening, guys?
I don't know, but you're excited.
You were talking about spring lull. Shoot, I'm fired up.
I don't know. It's not a lull. It's just, it's really,
it's not warm and it's not cold.
Yeah.
I love it.
It gives you just enough to get outside and enjoy it for a few days, and then it goes away.
Yeah. Then we'll have snow next week.
The one I'm tired of dealing with is the daggum rain. That's going to mess everything up.
You got it tomorrow.
We got youth turkey season opening tomorrow. And y'all know we ain't going to have no luck in the rain. So you can count those days out. So, and then we've got rain in the forecast. I don't know. We're going to have a few days breaks. So I'm going to try to take Michael out there and see if we can't get him a turkey, hopefully
I don't know that the ground can even remotely close to hold anymore. Like,
man, believe it or not, it dried out pretty fast over there, though. I was surprised. Anywhere you got sun.
And it was windy.
Yeah, it was dried out. But, some places are sloppy. There's a lot of places that are still wet. But.
Yeah, those, we were trying to do some limb maintenance in the yard yesterday. That's some of the stuff that we're going to talk about today, too. But, we'll pull down, into a certain spot in the yard, and we'd like to not got the truck out of there.
Really?
But the rest of the yard's dry, if there was sun, hits it, but those shady spots still holding moisture pretty hard.
No, it's nasty. I'm sick of the rain. And me and Jamie's fitting to go north right into it.
Man, we're not going to rain. We're going to 26 degree snow and ice.
So what is
anyway?
What's the college y'all are going to? The Sportsman's Banquet?
So we're going to the Ultimate Sports Show in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
And it's a hunting and fishing extravaganza, right?
It must be pretty large because I talked to the guys this morning, and he says they're all driving their trucks into the building to unload, pulling a U-Haul trailer inside the building. Yeah. So it must be a pretty good-sized facility.
That's just a convention center or something. Yeah. They had those. Ducks Unlimited used to have a huge one in Memphis. And
I miss it.
Oh, man, I'd love to go into that.
That was a redneck fair, baby.
It was, man.
I waited all year for that. And it was always in a hot time of the year down here.
It was like July.
Like June, July, but still, I didn't care.
Man, they had you could test out the latest models of the four-wheelers.
New trucks.
Shoot shotguns. You could
get all the new flavors of Copenhagen and Skull.
They just passed that.
It was fishing and hunting, though.
Yeah.
It had everything. You go through all the new boats. Heck, we met the duck man there.
Yeah.
Riding Bigfoot. There. I remember riding in Bigfoot.
They had Bigfoot there?
They had Bigfoot there.
I know. If you signed up to drink beer, if you got your beer wristband, they wouldn't let you shoot the guns or drive anything.
Yeah, you had to get your stuff out of the way in the morning.
Go ahead and do all that. Yeah. That's what we would do. We'd get there when it first opened, because there wasn't a big crowd.
I don't know how many people that drew in then.
Man, you can find some deals there, too.
Yeah, I've got a lot of duck hunting stuff. That last day, if you went on that Sunday, those vendors didn't want to load a lot of that stuff up, and it's been touched and handled, and, they would cut you a pretty good deal on that stuff. They knock it down about 50%.
Yeah, well, a lot of times those guys are just going to the next show. They're having that stuff already delivered there. They don't want to take that inventory with them.
Well, didn't they do like a yearly, like a year's picture? Like every year it was a different Ducks Unlimited photo, kind of like the duck stamps they do. You could buy the big pictures.
Oh, yeah,
prints, they had all the prints in there. That was another thing. Like you went in there, they had all those prints, those Ducks Unlimited prints. I bought pictures up there before hanging my house and stuff.
I always like looking at those traveling mounts. They had all these record class bucks. They would set up indoors and big booths. Man, they had some wild racks.
There was a booth up there. I guess I don't know. It's been a few years that they came up there, but they had each state's record deer on the wall. Yeah.
I think that was a traveling thing. Like they had their own semi trailer.
That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, you could walk in it and all that.
I've seen it at the boat show once or twice. It wasn't near as big as that one.
So we used to always go to the Mid-South Boat Show, too. And it was always fun. I remember going through – we'd go through all the boats like we was going to buy one. Go through them high dollar.
Set in them.
Yeah.
Me and Daddy went a couple of weeks ago to look at a boat.
Was it the Mid-South Boat Show?
I guess it was a boat show. I guess it was Mid-South.
Down at the old Cook Convention Center? Or is that,
no, it was at the Ag Center out in Germantown.
That's where they had the Ducks Unlimited then.
The guy from Sardis that Daddy actually bought his boat from, they about the only fishing boat.
Yeah,
you get so much more stuff in there now. Like I was looking this morning for the Ultimate Sports Show. You can have they had it set up where you had vendor spots and then you had unrelated vendor spots or not. I forgot what term, what verbiage they use, but it was basically like if you were in there selling candles. That vendor spot costs more than a regular vendor spot because that's like you said. Y'all went up there and they were selling potpourri and hot tubs.
What are they trying to discourage them from going in there, I guess.
Because, I mean, it's
not
just
making a regular flea market type thing.
We went to the, hunting and fishing extravaganza years ago when they had it. And what was
I think that kind of took the place of Ducks Unlimited thing afterwards, I think.
And I think Daddy or somebody asked, what is extravaganza? And we left. He says, I know what it means. Ain't crap here. Like, ain't nothing here.
Yeah, turned into a flea market.
Yeah,
it did. I think they still have that because I think I took the kids to one somewhere. It was really small, and there wasn't nothing. It was all closed, and that was there's a few other things in there, but it wasn't.
You ain't gonna beat the old Ducks Unlimited show.
Oh man, no, you would see all the new lures, all the new fishing poles, all the new guns.
Chevrolet would lease their new trucks.
They would have all kinds of stuff there.
Duck calls, turkey calls. I mean, you got to meet all the.
They even had seminars.
Yeah. I mean, I met Phil Robertson and Godwin there.
Yeah.
Years ago.
That was back in probably early 2000, late 90s, probably.
Bulk duck calls.
Duck calls. They were in plastic bins. You can get them for $5 a piece.
I've been blowed on about 2,000 people all weekend.
Heck, they used to bring the trout tank. Y'all remember that as a kid?
Yeah.
You had the trout. You could get the little fishing pole with a little trout bait on it.
We need to see if there's something like that around again. I don't think it is. Not close to us.
I don't know. I haven't seen it in a long time.
I don't know why that left.
There is actually. Now this isn't an extravaganza. It's just they're having down in Senatobia for their. I guess it's like a Main Street, how they do these little festivals, like we have the Water Tower Festival. They're having a wild game cook-off and beer festival this weekend in Senatobia. If anybody's in the area, I looked at. It's the first I found out about it. I said, "Man, we should have been there." Buck Junkies could have put a team in.
Yeah,
because they're cooking. They're doing fish, fowl, small game, big game, and side dish. All 5 categories of wild game cooking. Plus, you can taste all this, like 40 different craft beer vendors are going to be there. That are going to have outdoor industry type people vending there, supposedly. And it sounds pretty cool.
Man, it'll be too late. What are you doing Saturday?
I'm trying to turkey hunt. Try to take Michael
turkey hunt. You think we can turkey hunt and make it up there and cook?
Maybe we can get up, shoot a turkey about 6:15, and then be up there by 10 o'clock, and we'll just have to go hang out.
You have to just take the turkey with you.
Yeah, but our buddies from the land bank's cooking crawfish. For everybody knows them, you can go to their booth and they're gonna give you some crawfish. So I said I might have to go up there and check that out. They was asking me for what you would cook ideas. So if y'all were gonna do, let's take them 5 real quick before we get going. You got 5 categories. What side dish you gonna do for a wild game side dish?
Dirty rice.
That's a great one.
That would go with just about anything, but I don't know, man. Them old chimichurri roasted potatoes we do. That pretty much hits on just about everything.
Jamie's apple pie baked beans would do it with deer sausage.
That would be good. Yeah,
what would
something
you do,
different.
Jamie?
Man, I'm just a breakfast guy. Man, you can't beat no fried deer meat with biscuits. You just can't beat it.
Is that a side dish?
No,
probably for Jamie.
You do biscuits on the side.
So you could do that for the big game category.
That
would be dang good. Fried backstrap with gravy over it.
Yep.
It'd be hard to beat.
Yeah. What about fish? What would y'all do?
Oh, got to be some good hush puppies. Got to be good.
For a side for fish?
No, not a side. Just that's the category.
I'm doing Daddy's fish recipe.
Fried catfish?
Yeah, we talking about that later on here in a minute.
Well, we actually, and some people know about it, some people don't, but years ago when Dad was doing a lot of fishing and doing catfish frying, rather, a guy broke out a can of biscuits. And that's the first time we ever seen anybody instead of using hush puppies. They get canned biscuits, break the biscuit up into quarters, roll it pretty much like a donut hole, throw it in with the grease, and
But it cleans your grease.
Because it gets all that cornmeal stuck to the
to me, that's as good as a good hush puppy in there.
If you take if you cooking on, like, say, your stovetop, you get all that stuff settles to the bottom. And as long as it ain't burnt, you can drop them biscuits in there, and all that corn milk's in the bottom of that pot will stick to that biscuit.
It's
good.
good,
cool. Your grease poured up.
Yep.
You're ready to fry again.
It's good.
No, I do Daddy's fish recipe. Ain't no doubt.
Bad one.
I had to fry the fish or blacken the fish.
That's what I was thinking.
Do some kind of etouffee or something on it.
I was thinking crawfish cream sauce over a fillet, blackened fillet.
That is good, but it's so hard to convince, especially, I guess, your older generation has got to be fried. That's just.
If you're in Mississippi, you better be frying that fish.
Yeah, fish.
Yeah.
Now, if we had some of that Bahamas tartar sauce to go with it.
Yeah. You could whip that up. That ain't nothing. Who's food process it?
What would be, so what did you say it was? It was
small game.
Fowl.
Big
bird.
Fowl, be a bird. I've been duck. I would do duck. Probably.
Yeah, I'd have to do
duck. Duck gumbo or those seared duck breasts like we do.
I think I'd seared duck breast because, I got my butt kicked by a seared goose breast a couple weeks ago. So
yeah, it had to be
me trying to go out of the box.
I don't know what you would serve, like serve it over, or does it have to be
No, it could be whatever dish you want.
I'd be some rice on that.
I was thinking seared duck breast tacos.
See, then you take away from the duck breast, though.
Shoot.
I think that's what got you is like a lot of them.
I had too much.
Did you do tacos?
No, I did nachos.
Oh, yeah.
I had too much. I mean, and you lost the goose in it. But I thought the goose was going to taste like crap.
I would think
all them geese,
poppers.
They were clean.
All of that was very good eating.
Really? What'd you do for small game?
Man, small game, you got rabbit or squirrel pretty much around here.
Quail.
Yeah, I mean,
quail,
you got to store.
Well, I mean, it didn't say it could be small as long as it's North American.
Yeah. If I had a choice, quail.
You could cook nutria rat if you wanted to. Raccoon, possum.
Yeah. Well, according to the hearsay we've been hearing, the thing is bobcat.
Bobcat. I mean,
I ain't eating a cat.
They brought mountain lion to.
I know.
That was Tomcat.
Yes, that's what broke me.
Yeah, I ain't eating cat either.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm not eating nothing that eats meat.
I think I'm hungry to eat a cat.
I'd try bobcat now.
I mean, I'm gonna try
it. I ain't eating nothing that eats meat. To me,
I ain't doing it.
I don't know.
Cat, like they eat, they eat
house cat.
Lion, they eat serval or whatever. They eat bobcat. I ain't doing it.
I tried bobcat.
You try it?
Oh yeah.
What about coyote? Have y'all seen them guys eat coyote?
It too.
You might as well eat Gus or somebody else.
That's
what I said.
I'm gonna eat my dog.
Yeah.
You got to be awful hungry.
Time's tough, Malcolm.
I don't know if it was like a famine. I guess I'd eat a horse.
See, I could eat a bobcat with a horse.
What?
No,
they serve horse over here.
Yeah, who was it? We know somebody we know was over there.
Where was we at? Yeah, I remember somebody talking about horse. That's what they.
It was Eric from Boar's Night.
Yeah,
they went over there and he said, "You go to a steakhouse."
That's right,
he says it was horse ribeye.
That's
he said there was nothing else on the menu.
You can look when you go outside the building; they'll just have like a picture of a horse head or
something. Now if they have horse bratwurst or horse hot dogs, I ain't eating it. That ain't me.
Times get tough in more cowboy days.
To me, a piece of
you ain't gonna starve.
Some old horse meat looks like I don't know. Some meat be like almost black looking, like dark.
Jamie still thinks they use them to make glue, so he's like,
Elmer's,
I don't know what I'd do for small game.
Rabbit.
I would like your idea. Like you like.
I got to try it, but
debone one out. I would tenderize it and wrap it in bacon. Cook it just like deer meat.
You could do Dove.
Yeah.
That would be awful good.
That would be good.
Heck, I don't know. Emu wouldn't be considered small game, I guess, because it ain't a season.
What about frog leg? That'd be small game, wouldn't it?
I don't know if you
people get turned away from them.
Leg.
Really?
That's a hit or miss. Yeah.
If somebody, you're right. It's not somebody. I've never heard anybody say, like, "Yeah, frog legs are okay." They either like them or they highly despise them.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. You need to turn it into etouffee.
Frog etouffee.
No, I seen a guy do it. He cooked the frog legs down like stew meat, and then had it shredded and then mixed in the etouffee.
What if you did that old frog cut like with the dove or quail or something, or had it flipped and then cooked it and then did your frog leg etouffee around it?
What was it? The one you seen where they stuffed it and that old frog was on the grill.
It looked just like it. When you cut that chicken, you hinge cut him, you flip him around. It looks like it. It looks like a frog with his mouth open and his legs back behind him.
Be rough.
There's probably going to be a bunch of stuff cooked down there in Senatobia.
That's why I kind of want to check it out. Have y'all ever judged or been to wild game cooking?
I've cooked one.
We've cooked in them before.
I've cooked a big one out, and they have one every year. It's over in Corinth, Mississippi, at their fairground, or an arena, whatever it's called. And I went over there and judged it one time, and it's you see some stuff, man. There's all kinds of stuff.
We need to do one.
There.
To have
this one was like a potluck style. You brought your dish in, turned in, the sample of it. And then the rest of your food went out to tables and people bought tickets and everybody went around just eating like potluck, trying it. And then they had the judges off to the side.
I done figured out potluck. It comes in a pot and you'd be lucky if you don't get sick on some of it.
It's nice if you get sick.
You can't eat everybody's.
No,
Potluck and Pepto-Bismol.
Can't eat.
Man, used to potluck and buffets, but now that I can't
do it.
Both them words kind of bother me a little bit.
What else are we talking about today, Mark?
So, a little recap on last week, and it's still going on, the hack and squirt. Y'all still got folks
going
fired
on, man.
Yes.
I hadn't looked at it anmonor.
I get so tickled.
I don't even read the comments. You're the comment man.
Yeah.
Mark, you're the one that keeps up. So what's been some of the give us the highlights.
Well, you still get you could burn that in your fireplace. So folks,
sweet gum.
We got plenty of sweet gum trees. Yeah, we'll
sell them to you.
We'll tell y'all where to come get them at.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just, it's the same stuff.
Can you burn sweet gum wood?
You can, but
you better be freaking hot to make it burn. It ain't gonna
not
start on its own.
Yeah.
The only time I've seen anything with sweet gum actually that actually burns is when they actually kiln dry it. A lot of that stuff you see at like gas stations, they call it, what's the
fireplace wood?
Yeah, but it's called something else.
I don't know if nothing's sweet gum or not.
I just see it bundled up outside. I figured.
No, this was in the bag. Remember, they got it just for fire pits. It's got an accelerant on it. They use sweet gum and like pulpwood for it, and it's kiln dry. But you're average Joe.
Oh, like the fire logs or whatever.
Yeah.
The pressed up stuff.
I can't remember what it's called, but
now, sweet gum I've seen like do woodwork out of it, and it's just not nothing special about it. It's not a like it. It's exotic looking grain or nothing to it.
And you still got the whole you're creating widowmakers and all that. Which
because they fall on you.
Yeah, I guess people go stand in the woods and just wait on a limb to fall on them. I ain't figured that one out yet.
I mean, I could to that point. If you're doing that in your front yard and kids are playing, that's probably not a good idea. But we're back there. We won't set foot on that again until next year.
What people don't realize is this dries the tree out completely before it ever falls. So you don't have the weight of what you're thinking like a green tree standing. The tree don't weigh nothing. Once it falls, I mean, it turns to dust. Like you can go out there, you hit it with the hatchet. And I mean, it's nothing there. It's no moisture. It's no weight to that tree. Yeah. It's decaying while it's standing. But
maybe we need to ask the biologist that. Are you creating these danger zones once you go in and hack and squirt them that you should keep out?
I guarantee you half these places you see where they done cut timber off of, and you see this used to, they would go in there and I don't think they called it poison axe back then, but they've done the same thing.
Yeah, they've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
We just now figured it out.
Well, I mean, it's one of them things you're not informed. We were at that point, we was like, hack and squirt, that sounds not like a good idea, but once you learn a little bit about it, it's great. I mean, it's efficient.
Yeah.
I'm not going in there where we do that.
You're not?
Oh, I mean,
I need to show me.
Malcolm come back with a limb to the roof of the Can-Am. I bumped a tree and the whole top fell out of it.
I mean, the areas we did it in is not somewhere we
never set foot in there
or anything like that. It's just a spot in the woods, and we know where it's at, so we're not.
I mean, there is stuff you got to be mindful of, but again, like we talked last week, you're not tearing your property up. It's pretty much a done deal, and in a couple of years, you've accomplished what you want to do without all the invasive stuff.
So this time next year, when we talk about the grass and weeds and briars growing up in there, we're going to be creating a bad environment then, so it really don't matter. Just
we'll have a need your hard hat sign going in hunting. We'll be good to go.
Work zone.
So really between hunting season, turkey season ain't kicked off. It's fishing too. We talked about that last week. I know youth season, I think, would y'all say it opens tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
But we're kind of in a lull stage between seasons, and we've had a ton of storms come through, a bunch of wind, a bunch of ice. I know y'all went down there and worked some this weekend, got some limbs picked up, but kind of what's been going on the farm, I guess, really.
That wind's been brutal the past couple of last week was getting 40, 50 mile an hour wind?
Yeah.
We lost some full grown trees.
I don't know if that ground by Wayland Stand, them 2 oak trees, it pulled a root ball and all. I don't know if the ground was just so rotten right there and just so much weight.
It was so much weight because
these were not hack and squirt trees.
Yeah, these are not hack and squirt. This is snow and ice.
But the backside of when you on trees on the edge of a field and stuff, all the limbs grow out towards the field.
Right.
We're trying to reach the sun; they don't grow back in the woods.
That's right.
Much. So when that ice came, all the weight was pulling
on one side,
which was downhill,
and that's why it fell was out towards the road and out towards the field. That's why you see so many in the field and stuff.
When I was down there Friday and the wind kicked up, we had that little storm blow through. Just the trees that was right by the house. I was watching them. I was like, man, some of these are fixing
something to go, ain't it?
Because you would not believe how strong. And we got to blow them 15, 20 mile an hour. And in just a matter of minutes, it just picked up, and those jokers were bending over and swaying. Like if you just on a climbing stand, one of them,
hold on,
ride. Because I see why they do it. They're top heavy, and I'd be more worried about one of them falling on me than on one of them dead ones.
But most oak trees don't have a real deep taproot going in the ground real deep.
It stays on top of the ground.
It's a hardwood tree, a solid tree, but it's not got a huge root system on them.
I tell you, everybody thinks about pine trees falling. A pine tree ain't gonna fall. The limbs will fall off of it.
Yeah.
That pine tree's staying there.
We didn't see. We saw there was a bunch of pine limbs, but there wasn't any trees laid over.
That's a bad thing about those storms. You lose. It creates bedding and a lot of stuff laying around for the deer, but that you lose some of your good trees because the root system is not.
Well, what I'm hoping some of those trees weren't as good a produce. You know, maybe they're old, mature, ain't producing as much anymore anyway. It's making room for new growth.
Yeah. And if you got those sweet gums, hack and squirted out of that area, when that big one falls, the little ones come up.
Come right up. That's right. And that's where there was some back in behind there. Probably will help.
But if we don't cut them oak trees for any kind of like firewood, anything, like Mike said, we just kind of cut it and let it fall there, and that'd just be cover for birds, rabbits, whatever, squirrels get in there.
Did y'all do any shed hunting?
Man, they ain't dropped yet. I mean, and it was this time last year.
We were done.
We'd found everything that was that we thought was on the property. But we rode all the plots, walked through some of the pine thicket a little bit, took the dog with us, and we didn't see any. Found like one skull that was, I don't think it was fresh. It was just like a little spike.
Yeah.
I don't know what killed it, but it'd been there a while. Dog actually found it.
That's crazy. I was looking on the cameras and stuff yesterday.
Bucks are still on camera.
Bucks still on camera, full set of horns.
They got to be.
I've never seen deer hold their horns to turkey season.
Man, you think that vetch has got some kind of glue in it or something?
I don't know.
We done glued the horns on.
I don't know about
that. You know, it was 1 year at our house. It'd been a big deer we've seen several years. Nobody ever killed it, as far as I know. And I seen it in March, toward the end of March, actually. Horn still on its head, and it was chasing doe. Had its nose to the ground, chasing doe, just like full blown rut.
It's got to have something to do with the.
They say it's daylight hours has a large determination on when horns drop. I don't know if it has something to do with it. Something that the daylight hours controls the hormone testosterone in a buck, and that in turn relates to the horn.
Well, that's what I was telling Malcolm. Is like, you know, maybe we still had does that they were breeding, and the testosterone stayed up, and they were still trying to breed, you know, after deer season, and you know, because last year it was all over with quick, and
they're definitely grouped up earlier this year. I think they were grouping up toward the end of the year. You know, when we were first, like the last week of season,
told me rut was over.
Yeah,
you know. I was expecting on mid-February to be dropped completely. I'm still seeing young bucks with them.
Yeah, Darren and them to Island they were finding sheds in February.
That's when most people start looking here. You know?
Hopefully next week.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah, y'all can't look this week when me and Mark's gone.
Yeah.
Good luck trying to find them out in them food plots now, because after that sun and all this rain we're getting, they're going to be ankle deep.
Man. Yeah, you're going to have to walk up on them because there ain't no spotting them because we've got vegetation.
Well, I walked last week when I was down there moving limbs. I had my dog with it, took a break on the tractor, let her walk around. We walked in right north of the plantation stand. Like, you can't see for all the pine limbs on the ground. It's pine limbs everywhere in there.
It's thick in there anyway. Mm-hmm. Is that one that's we got to thin it before we burn it, don't we? Or do something before we burn it just because it's so much vegetation.
So much low hanging stuff on it.
Over the ditch, talking about?
Yeah, he told. When he was talking about burning, he said you do not burn.
Yeah, that's going to be a hot, fast one.
He said to burn up all the trees.
Yeah, because so much.
What he called
the lower limbs held your he had a word
thatch or whatever.
Yeah, held all the pine needles.
Holding all them pine needles. So he said once it's going to get so hot, it's going to kill trees. He said do not burn that thicket.
So on the south side, the limbs are higher, which not holding pine needles hitting the ground versus holding them on the tree. So it's just burning through on the ground.
So what would you do for that? Other than hire somebody to come in, could you hack and squirt them?
From what I understood, if the trees get tall enough to do select cut, that'll let it open up. Tree limbs get higher, and there'll be less stuff on the trees.
If you got a contract with that, you know, on those trees or whatever, you
can't do nothing.
You got to make sure that you within your right.
But that part's out of contract, ain't it?
That's the only piece.
Yeah, that's the only piece.
Oh, it still is.
Because if you do something to manipulate those trees and you're under contract, you pay for every one of them.
Yeah. There was a guy on Facebook Facebook, YouTube one I seen other. That's what he was doing and he kind of got negative, feedback from people about burning, and he actually done a time lapse of it about this over the years. It was all oak trees. It was like 6 or 8 inches, nothing but leaves on the ground. He's like nothing can sprout through that. Your trees dropping acorns, the acorns not getting to the ground to regrow another tree.
Yeah. And that's usually what happens, those acorns fall and you get little trees. We talked to Kevin or whatever about that. He said that tree will sit there and it'll have a root system in the ground that's 10 years old, but the tree won't be but 3 or 4 foot tall.
Yeah.
As soon as light gets or you pull the dominant trees away from it, he said just within a few years it will take off.
Yeah.
So no sheds.
No sheds. We did some varmint hunting though.
We did
trapping. We did some varmint trapping.
Dog proof raccoon traps.
Dog proof raccoon traps.
Flat work.
I didn't tell you about Austin wanting to see how bad that trap was back there, did I? Yeah, so I set it.
Y'all didn't put his finger in there.
No, I couldn't get him to put his finger in there.
Did you set it?
Yeah, I set it and showed him. It ain't. I'm sure it'd get you. It ain't as stout as what I thought it was gonna be.
I mean, it's gonna bruise you.
Yeah,
it's not gonna break nothing.
You don't think it'd break your finger? You're sticking in it.
I mean, I didn't pay attention. After I looked at it, I knew what it was. I didn't realize you had to pull. Like they had to reach down and grab it to pull it to release it. I was trying to push it. And I was like, this thing won't even go off. And I got to look and I was like, oh crap, it's a grab trap. So
because Coon's not gonna let go of nothing.
Yeah.
He's got
to go pull out that peanut butter, whatever you put in it.
You put a little bait at the top to entice him in, and then the rest of the bait's at the bottom. So once he gets to that ring, it's in the way. You can't get his hand through there. So what he'll do is he'll reach and grab it and try to pull it out of the way. When he does, it's over with.
And he just sits there, mattered.
He mad.
Oh, that jugger's so mad. I wish we could have caught more. We got a strategy next time, though. We're going to put them closer to the ditch. We thought I guess coons are about like everything else. They got a winter pattern and a summer pattern or spring pattern. And in the fall, I guess they're hunting acres just like everything else is, so they stay up in the woods a good bit. But, now they're moved out towards I think they're moved out towards the ditch, so we're going to move them out there.
Before we move on with that, what is the reason you want coons off your property?
Because they find the nest where the turkeys lay their eggs, and they eat all the eggs. They don't just select one or two eggs. They eat every one of them.
See, most people think when you say a predator for your turkey, they're thinking coyotes, bobcats, house dogs. They're not thinking of a coon or possum or armadillo, anything like that. And I would say a coon probably more harmful on the nesting than what a coyote is.
Coon's more dangerous to your turkey population than any other animal. One reason being because a coon will wipe out a whole nest. So you figure that turkey laid a dozen eggs in there. That's a dozen turkeys he took off your property. A coyote's going to snatch one, or a bobcat or something's going to snatch one. They're done for several days. They'll eat that turkey for, days, and they may not catch another one the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But a coon will just wipe a nest out in one night.
All of them are bad, but yeah.
I think that's one of the things we try to talk about is, it's not just managing the deer herd or managing the turkey. It's more to it than that. And that kind of rolls us right into what we're going to talk about. We'll come back to some of these other topics. But right now, everybody's got spring fever. Everybody's wanting to clean up their property, bush hog, clean up around the house, whether it be your hunting house or your personal house. But what are some do's and don'ts? And kind of to elaborate on that, just like you said, it's getting close. You finna start dropping fawns. You got turkeys with nest. What's some of the things you need to make sure you don't do this spring? And that's going to be our main topic for the day is, spring maintenance. There's a lot of people like me personally. I'd be, man, let's go bush hog them fields, get them looking good. But I would back away from that at this point.
Food plots where you can see is a little bit different than you get out there where it's all the sage grass. You're not, when you see a fawn's not going to get up and move. You're going to pretty much, it might get up before you run over it, but it's going to.
You ain't going to know it till it's too late
most
of the time.
Yep.
Especially if it's taller sage grass. A lot of the property we have is a lot of sage grass.
Same with the turkey nest. If you ain't paying attention, you'll be on turkey nest quick on the tractor.
Yeah, if you hadn't, you're going to have to time your bush hogging. If you're going to try to bush hog down some of your grassy areas, or you're going to burn some of those grassy areas, you need to do that, January, February, going into March maybe. But once you get into March, I would highly recommend not doing it.
Holding off for at least 2 months.
At least, yeah, until after the turkey hatch is over with and after the fawns have gotten up enough to where they can, but even then, fawns in June and July are not no bigger than,
they're still
they're
big.
20 pounds.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We typically don't see them drop till May or June, right?
Yeah.
That's when, and what's the turkey hatch? It's like turkey season will be there, the breeding season.
It depends on when they get bred. So if they get bred early, and
they'll start late.
They can start breeding as early as February. I've seen them, out there strutting and gobbling and had hens with them and, all that stuff in late February. So if that hen got bred then, they got 45-day cycle or whatever it is, 30-day, you're going to have a turkey nest on the ground in late March.
Wow.
Or 1st of April.
Are you seeing them in open areas like the fields and stuff, or are they mainly in the woods?
Every time I've jumped turkeys, it's been in a sage grass field.
See, me and you had that. Me and you rode up on that one in the dove field that was not 5 foot off the road.
It was in the tall sage grass.
And then me and you rode up on the one that was in that lemon bush.
Yeah,
or near the lemon bush.
She was somewhere in that thicket.
So she was laid up in the thicket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was in the thicket.
So they could be either or, really.
Yeah. I think it's just something that a lot of people jump the gun as far as like, all right, well, we're going to get ready for summer plots or we're getting ready for this. And, now it's kind of the lull time where, maybe they're trying to work on their property. And are you doing any benefit or what do you need to be aware of and cautious of is the biggest thing?
So that's what, so I just looked up on the wildlife deal. It says the incubation period, 28 days.
Yeah.
And most, I guess, hatches will be present or either egg between last week of May, early June.
That's what I was thinking.
It's a mid-May, mid-June. I'd definitely hold off on any kind of bush hogging if you got turkeys on your place.
So that's always been our thing. We try to get those plots in the spring. I mean, you take it April, but you just have to. I think you have to keep it in mind.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout. Maybe scout the area you're going to work on before you take off bush hogging or whatever you're doing.
Most of our plots are pretty clean with green vegetation in it now, so turkey ain't likely going to get out there and make a nest in the wide open like that. Now, them cover areas we have like in plantation, don't knock that down at all.
Stay out of your eco edge.
That's right, yeah, for sure.
See,
definitely.
I had to get that eco edge down pretty quick.
Yeah, or it'll
because
bring back
or I can leave it and let I got two options: either take it down and replant it and put what we've been planting, the Egyptian and weed and stuff like that back in there to or leave it. It's probably not going to regenerate. It's probably just going to come up Johnson grass and let it be and let the turkeys use that for nesting. But it's on the side of a wide open field that's kind of highly populated with predators. I really don't want them trying to nest right there anyways.
Well, the thing about that eco edge now, it's done beat down.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen trails beat down in it where you can tell where they're highways. You can see if you ride by it on side by side and there's any kind of turkey nest or anything laying in it, you would see it.
Yeah.
Because I rode a bunch of it last weekend just looking for sheds.
And no bigger it is, heck, we could walk it the day before we bush hog it and see
you could easily do it.
Yeah.
I don't think but I think doing something like that, like a little bit of scouting or
see that
prep work before you take off in there to make sure you run those bedding there. If they are bedded in there, you run anything out. I mean, if you find a nest, I'd back out.
Flag it and leave it alone.
Yeah.
Well, too, that kind of rolls off into saying, you're getting ready to do some of this bush hogging right now. We're talking about sheds. It's a lot easier to find sheds than replace a tractor tire.
Man,
like everybody I've talked to, and if this is something y'all are interested in and, want to get in a shed hunt, but you don't have property to do it on, man, reach out to some of your local farmers. Because that's one of their biggest fears this time of year is running over a shed and costing them a tractor tire. And everybody I talked to, Kevin Hurt, one of our close friends, he's like, man, y'all are welcome to come look. He said, that's when I see them is when I go out in the tractor first anyway. And he's like, a lot of times you miss it. He said, that old 4-point, he said, it'll get that tire quick, But that's another thing. It's something, we already talked about it before, shed hunting this time of year. But, I mean, what are some things that y'all would think this is prime time to do?
You need to summarize your stands, which is what we've done a couple weeks ago. Me and Jamie went down and, we got them sprayed up, got all the bottles out of them, heaters out of them, cleaned them up, get them ready for, the next deer season.
And plus, that helps keep all the mice and anything else out of it, which the stands we got sealed up pretty tight, but still, you don't want
ladybugs and wasps are our enemy.
Some of those wood stands, I mean, you can't keep the mice out of them. Man.
That's just because it's that corrugated tin is not really sealed off like the Dixie blind or the condo stand.
And some of the other things you do, you got road maintenance and different things like that. I mean, we've got some places where, all the leaves are pushed out of the woods and got out on the edge of the fields and kind of changed our water flow in some of the areas that need to be, fixed. And
what's the big ditch look like with all this rain?
A bunch of silt right there crossing. It's
silted and washing bad.
It's almost as high as a tire getting through there.
I tried to grade it out the other day, but once you scratch the surface, that's going
to be a yearly thing, though. If you got a main drainage ditch pushing that much water and debris and everything down, you're just going to have to keep it clean.
The only way it would help if we had I wish some of them concrete mats would be awesome to have. We could just scratch the dirt off, or it wouldn't stick as bad neither. But
But
about those, Creek.
With those banks, the way we got them cut, though, I mean, you're creating an eddy there anyway. Yeah. So that's what's happening. It just eddies and it pushes that crap to the edges.
That's right. It really needs like a pipe and a road over it.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, it'd be a big pipe. I don't know if you keep it in there or not.
We just need my old low boy trailer.
Put a bridge across it.
Bridge it.
Get your equipment maintenance. Get it ready for springtime because you don't want to be worried.
We got a tractor down now. Yeah. It's in the shop. Good.
John and working. I talked to him this morning about it, matter of fact.
You definitely want to go out there and jump on them when you're ready to plant and you only have a few days to plant before it rains again. And
same situation as we had is tractor been sitting all winter, got to hit the key, and it ain't nothing there.
Yeah.
That battery's gone.
But, you know, besides that, I mean, just coming out of deer season, you know, one of the biggest things that we done was, like, me and Will cleaned up all our guns, got all our equipment taken apart, cleaned out our duck bags, you know, doing stuff like that. Kind of still keeps you in that hunting type
mindset.
Stuff. Yeah, mindset. But, you know, we do all that, get all our stuff cleaned up and ready for next year and pack it up, you know, and then change out to turkey guns and stuff like that. Like the other day, we were sighting in our turkey or patterning our turkey guns. You know, that's one of the biggest things before you go turkey hunting and stuff. You know, get your turkey gun out.
How'd that go? What round shot the best out of y'all's guns? What guns was you shooting?
I shoot a 870, which is it's a turkey gun. And for years, I mean, I've shot several different ones. I've shot federal shells out of it. They do real good. And I found one, a Remington Nitro, a few years back that patterned really good out of that gun. And that's the one I've been shooting for the past several years. But we bought these Winchester XRs. Bought these Winchester XRs, and I think Federal makes the TSS. You bought those. I didn't.
TSS
I bought the
bad.
XRs. And freaking XRs are bad.
Yeah. They just come out last year, released, didn't they?
I ordered me a new choke for them today. Like Carlson's makes a Longbeard XR choke specifically for that.
Yeah.
Out of all the rounds I shot last weekend, those XRs are bad to bone.
Man, Will videoed me shooting, and, you know, which we'll get into that later on. But anyways, I was talking about, you know, patterning the gun and, you know, having to get out there and pattern your gun because all your turkey loads don't fly the same. It's just like sighting in a deer rifle. Don't pick that gun up and try to go to the turkey woods and say, well, you know, I'm just going to put the bead on the turkey's neck and squeeze the trigger. You might miss.
Yeah.
Because some of those more powerful loads, they come out of there, they fly higher, and they intended to do that. You know, so that XR, when I shot it flew high. The first time I shot, most of the pellets were at the top of the turkey.
What's that, like at probably 25 yards, probably
30.
20 yards, 30?
Yeah, it was at 30. But once I readjusted and got down, I mean, it covered that target up. I mean, it was the wadding hit the target, blow through the target at 30 yards. And you can see when Will's filming me, when I shoot, you can see that wadding smack that target and just tear that target off the little post I had it set on. It's pretty potent.
We shot three different guns, 4 different loads, and Michael was not happy.
No, I was telling you, man, that turkey load.
You kind of, you know, you warned me. You said don't let him shoot it, and I said, well, man, I can't let him hunt with something he ain't shot and felt. But after about the third one, he didn't want no more. But I had him down on the ground, had him kind of propped up on the tire side by side. That tire didn't give much when that shoulder was on it.
When I first, I guess I don't turkey hunt that much. It's been years since I've been with Daddy. But when I first had my first shotgun, Benelli Nova, it was the first gun I ever had shoot 3.5s. And of course, if it's gonna shoot 3.5s, that's what I'm gonna shoot. It's 3.5s.
Yeah.
And heck, I got a turkey choke for it and got out there and I shot it. And I was like, "Dad, gone. That's good enough." Dad's like, "Oh, it can't be that bad. Let me shoot it." I gave it to Daddy. No,
you want none?
He handed it right back, and he darn near cussed me. Like he said, "That is nope. I ain't got no need for that. It hurts."
Those 3.5s hurt you. They're good, but they.
I'm probably going, now that y'all talk about it, I'm going to order me a choke because I probably won't even go this year, but I'm going to order me a turkey choke for my 20 gauge. Might as well.
Might as well.
As much as I've hunted in my life, that's something I've never killed a turkey.
I've killed one, and it was pure luck.
It's fun. Got to get your calls out. Got to get them tuned up.
What do you need?
You definitely need an owl call.
Which is not used to call a turkey, but to locate the turkey.
It's to locate a turkey.
Yeah.
And Malcolm over here, I taught him how to owl call this weekend.
Oh, I was doing it.
Oh, my God. That was pretty funny.
I wish we'd recorded that.
I know. That was, anyways, me and Malcolm went trying to locate a turkey in the evening, and I walked out in front of there, and the owl called with my mouth, and Malcolm was wanting to know how to do it. He chose to try it.
Did y'all do it?
I can't with my mouth.
That's what Malcolm sounds like.
And my daddy
can do it.
If you close your eyes, you swear it down, you got a hoot owl the plug. My dad's good.
Yeah. But you get your turkey calls out and check all your equipment before you go turkey hunting.
You don't have an owl call.
Call Malcolm. He'll come locate you for you.
I got him.
Daddy always used a crow call too.
Well, after sunlight gets up.
Once the owls quit, once the owls, after a certain time, once the owls quit hooting and
you can do a crow.
You can do a crow.
My experience last year, I took a crow call. There was no need. crows were everywhere.
Yeah.
There was making so much noise in the morning, and the turkeys were gobbling. You didn't need no call. You just went out there and sit and listened. I mean, they were going to do it themselves.
They
were crowing at a rooster. I mean, they were gobbling back at a rooster at somebody's rooster at some house. I mean, it was
a lot of times. Yeah, a lot of times you just go out there and they
close your truck
up.
door.
Yeah,
slam your truck door and it'll gobble.
They'll gobble to a woodpecker call. You know, one of those old.
What is that? You just go.
You've heard them. It's kind of
like a screeching noise.
Oh, really?
And then
you got to start knocking on trees.
I can carry a baseball bat in the woods, start knocking on trees.
No, they won't racket.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about in the evening. I've never had one gobbling.
Man, the last time we was down there fishing last year, it was late in the afternoon. It was still sunlight, but it was a hoot owl out there just hooting, and it was steady gobbling back and forth to it.
I like to talk.
So when is adult? Is it the weekend after you?
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Yep.
I always thought it opened up the 1st of March. Is it middle of March now?
It's middle of March. It's always been like the 15th to the 17th, somewhere in there.
March 15th through April 30th.
Yeah.
It's right around St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
I might have to slip down there one more time. Me and Jamie will go as the rookie team of the year.
Shoot, I might get, Daddy can't hear.
Jamie can't hear neither.
Man, fun.
It says they can't hear S's.
I can't hear S sound stuff.
We moved a few blinds too, though.
Yeah.
We set a few blinds up for turkey hunting. Got one out on the plantation field, got it set up out there where we've been seeing have seen birds at before. We got a camera out there that some keep walking by, so we set it up for, kids or whatever.
So we're at an advantage, though, because we've watched them turkeys all year. We know what they're doing. So if you're, say, you got a property you just got rights to go turkey hunting on, and they got a field on it, how would you judge where to put that if you have going in blind?
You have to do a pre-scout first.
Yeah. You got to locate them first. You got to know where they're going.
Yeah, if you set a blind up on virgin property you've never been on, and you get in that blind, you coming out of that blind sometime during the morning.
Yeah.
You're not going to be there. Yeah,
chasing them. My goal is for the turkeys to come to me.
Yeah. So that's one thing. I don't think you get Daddy in a blind, just because he's never hunted that way.
He'll get out there and like at the pond stand at little grove of cedar trees. Always, every time I've hunted with down there, so we'd go sit in a little grove of trees and sit there, and that's kind of our, I guess, makeshift blind for a little bit. And then after 30, 45 minutes, an hour or so, you don't hear nothing. Yeah, we'd get up and walk.
That's all Daddy knew. When I was a kid, that's one reason I hated going with him, because you were going to cover 10 miles that day.
That's right, but you was hunting government land. If you hear something, you got to cover ground before somebody else does.
So, and that's the thing. Like you hunt, we're talking each tract, 180 acres, 150 acres. I mean, you can't just take off and cover it. I mean, you walk that in an hour.
Yeah. Really, in all honesty,
if you're doing that method. But if you're waiting them out, you go sit, and they're coming through there at some point in the day. It's like deer hunting.
Yeah.
That's why the game cameras are important right now too. It's not just the deer. You can put them out there, and we're watching for sheds to fall, but we're also watching for that turkey movement. Make sure they're feeding in our plots. You don't want to go out there and sit in that blind for 4 or 5 hours not see crap.
Yeah.
Now you still might, but
now we got it down to a few key hours where we see they're out there.
We kind of know when they're
coming
through. So, and we set the blind up also. When we set it up, it's not really camouflaged that much. That's one thing about like deer hunting and turkey hunting. A lot of times turkeys won't pay as much attention to a blind, like a deer will. It'll come out there and just peg it. A turkey will, I've seen them walk around farm equipment, tractors and stuff, sitting in a field.
I saw this is a video. I don't know how true it is, but these two dudes had a silhouette cow. One of them was on the front end, one of them was on the back end. They was walking sideways behind it up on some turkeys, and
they wasn't in Mississippi.
I mean, they thought they was cows.
I've seen videos. I've actually seen on like Outdoor Channel on TV people doing that.
With an umbrella. I don't
necessarily know if it'd work around here, but
we'll wait till the last weekend. We finna pull out all the stops.
I would try it if I had one under my belt already.
Yeah,
and then see if it worked. But I don't know if I would do it.
To it.
Yeah.
Well, that bog blind that's on the front property line or the north property line, we set it up and I hunted it the next day, and them turkeys come out and walked within 5 foot of that blind. Never paid a bit of attention.
Oh, we went back.
But if you moved in it, they're gonna spot.
Oh,
you better not move.
And that's one good thing I do like about that blind is you can close that dude up to where you're just looking out a 1-inch slit.
Them turkeys are coming out of them tall trees and coming down, and either going right by that one or going right by the break over there.
Yeah.
I've been watching them every day.
It's going to be just like deer hunting. I can see it now. But that's all I had. I just kind of want to cover some ideas because I know, I mean, for me, it's part of the year where you want to get out there and do a bunch, but you just got to be careful what you're doing and pay attention and don't mess your turkey season up. Don't mess up anything coming up you got this summer or anything like that. But
well, even if you don't, one of the things, if you don't turkey hunt, now is a good time to get out there if you are doing maintenance and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of trails and stuff that we see, now that's whooped down really good.
Now's the time to move your deer stand, in all honesty.
Yeah, if you want to move
or mark a spot.
Or mark a spot.
Before it gets hot.
Find their trails, mark their trails.
Yeah, because the trails are definitely well established. And you done, for instance, you got, like you talking about, you at one end of food plot, well, all year long, deer across the other end. Well, you're a fool if you don't move it now.
Yeah. I'd much rather be scouting this time of year versus middle of August when you're fighting ticks and snakes and 100 degrees.
That's why I like rabbit hunting so much. Rabbit hunting, you see it all. You see the deer trail, you see the deer signs, you find deer shed. You can see it all rabbit hunting. And it's over with now, too, so.
Yeah, it's definitely nicer in the woods. You ain't fighting ticks and snakes and all that stuff to move move your stands around. And plus, you're still fresh on your mind. Where did I see that buck slip me last year? Where did I see deer moving and stuff like that to get those stands moved and in those places where you can, try to do better than what you did last year.
What have you been cooking? You cooked some catfish, didn't you?
I fried catfish Sunday. I did.
So
it was hard to beat.
That's why I wanted to talk about that since you were going to bring up cooking catfish. The difference in your style of cooking catfish and how we cook catfish. I
cook a dry catfish. When I say dry, I want every bit of moisture off the fillet I can get. I don't want it dipped in I like I like it crunchy. I like it thin, and I guess you would say it's kind of like a Louisiana style. That's how I was taught to cook catfish.
Do you do all meal or meal flour combo or
just meal?
Catfish don't get flour.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't want a batter on it. It's it shouldn't be thick. And flour, when you do flour meal, it makes a thicker. So you got a separation of fish meat, and then you got that crunchy, the batter that sticks all over. That's not the kind of fish I want to eat.
But I think it's Cahoots is named that restaurant, catfish restaurant up in Tennessee.
Over in Lafayette or where?
Not too far from the Jack.
Yeah. What's that little town? Y'all stay in it the hotel y'all stay in when y'all go to the Jack.
Tullahoma or something like that?
Yeah, Tullahoma.
Anyway, it's up that way, close to Lynchburg, and they do I'm almost positive it's a flour meal mix, and that's the best. That's some of the best restaurant catfish I've ever eaten.
See,
it's not too crunchy like you're talking, but it's good.
If you're gonna fry catfish, it's got to be yellow cornmeal. Can't be white.
Season.
White's too much like.
I season the cornmeal.
Yeah, season it, but it's got to be yellow cornmeal.
Yeah.
Now, Daddy's always taught us this recipe, and that's all I ever knew. Grew up was he does a wet catfish. It's in a marinade. It's an egg wash with hot sauce, lemon juice, all this good stuff, and he kind of lets it soak. But the reason he done that is because they used to commercial fish, and you can take a blue cat and put it in that marinade, and it's just as good.
You can tell it takes a wildness out.
Right. Now, if you're doing Pride of the Pond or some pond-raised fish, you don't necessarily need it, but it is a different style batter. Now, I wouldn't say it ain't a heavy, like cakey flour batter at all.
But it's thicker.
It's thicker. It's a harder crunch.
Yeah. It's a lot thicker.
But
it tastes good.
Yeah.
It gives a good, great flavor. It's just a thicker batter. But
there is a difference, and everybody cooks catfish different.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
I like to dry brine them. I like to get all the, if they're froze, I let them thaw out in ice water. Don't get the water too hot. It changes the texture of the fish. You got to always let them thaw in cold water. And then when you get them out, put them on a rack, pat them with paper towel, let them air dry, and then get a salt, pepper, garlic on them. I use my AP seasoning. You could use whatever you want, but that initial dry seasoning does something to the outside of the fish, pulls some of that flavor down in it, and then run it through your dredge because it's going to pull out even more moisture. When you put that salt on it and let it sit, it's going to tack up the top of it. And that's what makes your bread and stick without having to dunk it in buttermilk or egg wash or anything. So you get a real even crust on the outside of it.
I just like catfish. I'll eat it either way.
I do too.
I don't like it if it's soft.
Yeah, I want it fried hard. I mean, I like it thin. I don't want big.
Thin end's got a curl.
Thick fish fillets.
See, I love it.
You like the thick ones?
Man, I like it. Where it's I like the
mold. I like a thinner one.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it all. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But I
you eat nuggets.
I will.
Yes.
Catfish nuggets, really?
Heck yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want that old belly meat now.
See, I like it too.
Really.
Sometimes it's fishy to me. Yeah. That's why I ain't got the best taste buds, but I can pick up on some fishy taste.
Man, I want them 4 and 5 ounce fillets.
Yep.
That's the size I like.
It depends on if I want to sit down and have a meal. I want a big old fillet with meat on it. But if it's like one of them things, like if we're cooking at camp and we might have a side of something else, I love them old, what do they call them, buffalo or buffet strips,
like fingerlings or whatever.
Yeah, where they take them fillets, and they're good too.
See, that's the way I like. I mean,
I like
thin, long strip. You know, if you take a bigger fillet, I'll split it and make a fingerling out of it because I think that just fries up better.
We've always cut ours. If you took especially on big fish, you know, some of the smaller fish will keep a fillet whole.
Yeah,
if it's a big fish, it'd be cut. You know, it'd cut
2 or 3
cut
times.
it in about 3 or 4 pieces. Yeah,
yeah, I like it.
I think
you can't do it wrong. It's
catfish.
No.
The only thing you got to watch is if you are cooking bigger fillets and you got some smaller ones mixed in because that's what you caught. Try to get them all the same size so they cook the same.
Do that.
Yeah. Or I mean, I have caught myself like my bigger pieces when I'm frying them. I'll try to cook bigs with bigs, smalls with smalls, because I cook them till they float. They pretty much stop frying. That's how you know they're done. Catfish got an internal timer. If it's still bubbling, sitting in the bottom of your grease in the basket, it ain't done. When it comes to the top, it flips around, flips over on its own, and it stops frying. The jerk's done.
What'd you go with? What went with it?
Oh, homemade hush puppies, coleslaw,
tartar
sauce,
so
red onion.
I wonder.
French fries. I mean, that's what I gotta have.
Yep.
Catfish Country's right down the road from us, and man, they got some of the best hush puppies. I don't know if they store bought or handmade or what, but man, they're very, very good.
Oh, it ain't nothing to whoop up some hush puppies.
Oh, Daddy's got a good recipe on hush puppies, and I like a hush puppy that's not completely
done.
No, not round. I want mine like flattened out on the side. Crunch on the edge.
Oh, spoon drop.
That's right.
You got in trouble at Megan and Andy's wedding. Andy's grandmama, she been cooking these. Mikey was gonna cook the hush puppies.
Hell, man, your daddy cooked everything for that thing.
Yeah. She been making these hush puppies for what, 7 days?
7 days.
I don't know. She had a family 100-year-old recipe or something,
and she does something, and they were good hush puppies. Yeah. I mean, they were really good hush puppies. But I don't know if she put beer or something in it, and it would like froth up, and you do it just like bread. You whoop it back down, and she put it back in the fridge, and it would froth up, and you whoop it back down, and Mikey wants to start dropping them hush puppies, and this lady come over to Walker and pulled a stool up right beside Mikey and was finna whoop Mikey for burning her hush puppies and mixing them up. Yeah. But she sat right there by that fryer and watched him cook.
I think she was mad because me and Fate took the ice cream scooper, a melon baller, and was balling them and dropping them, and she didn't. She wanted to spoon them in.
Yeah, she spooned them.
And it pissed her off. Yeah, she's messing them hush puppies up. Let me do it. And I was like,
she wanted them a long thumb.
Yeah.
But they do get crispier edges doing that way.
I like the 2-ounce melon baller, man. That's what I spray it with Pam. Use old James.
When you're cooking for 150 people, you worry about that.
You dropping, man. You get we get the Tupperware bowl and the scoop, and you dropping. By the time you get them all dropped, it's ready to start flipping and getting them out.
That's what we need to do. Hush puppy throwdown.
That'd be a good one.
Ooh.
That'd be fun. Cause I've never I don't know a hush puppy recipe. I've never made them. I mean, I'll throw some junk together like you do cornbread and throw some onions and peppers
I like
in
it with a little bit of jalapeno in it and a little bit of corn in it.
Man, back in the day, Daddy had one that was a frozen hush puppy he got out of one of the stores. And
Kroger's got a good frozen hush puppy.
And it was a jalapeno and onion hush puppy. And it was really good. I don't see them no more.
World's best. That's what
Kroger's got them, I think.
They have them. It's just in a clear bag. The white label just says World's Best Hush Puppies. All it says. Those are, as far as store-bought, I have never, I could make them way better, but as far as the ones you can buy, those are dang good.
And then Clancy's Restaurant in Red Bank's got that whatever that vinaigrette, it ain't nothing but vinegar,
pickled red onions chopped up.
Man, that's the best hush puppy dipping sauce.
I always do pickled red onion when I fry fish. It goes with it.
You're probably going to laugh at this. When I used to cook all that catfish for Cat, they wouldn't nobody make hush puppies. We'd go over to Catfish Cabin.
And buy their hush puppies are good.
Buy their mix, they just bring it out in the tub, and we'd still fry them,
That was probably Tastemaker mix.
Yeah,
it might have been. It was good. It was a good mix.
Catfish Cabin. Do they still do free fish on your birthday?
I think it's half. You get
half off now.
Didn't they?
Man, my mom and dad used to take me there every year when I was a kid.
That's where we went on somebody's birthday. We'll take you out.
I don't even know
birthday.
We went straight Shell there for her birthday. Catfish Cabin. Yeah. It's still up.
There's one in Corinth, isn't it? Or I know there's Long John Silver's down there.
Up there off of Brooks Road.
This is it's off Democrat Road.
Democrat.
You never been there?
It's right there by the airport. It's literally.
It ain't there no more. I don't think. I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure it is.
Google knows.
Yeah,
they had sold it not too long ago, and the owners reopened. They may be, I don't know.
They made the news. Didn't something sketchy go on?
Well, it's in a sketchy area.
There used to be a Fred Gang's that was right beside it. That was a really good restaurant.
There was a couple of years they were
permanently closed.
Oh, man.
It's probably done changed into the Purple Pony or something up there in the house.
It's probably a parking lot or something.
Yep, permanently closed.
Free catfish with your entry fee.
Yeah. They had some good catfish and hush puppies.
Hush puppies work?
That's what we need to do. We need to do a hush puppy showdown. That sounds pretty good.
Damn.
We need to do it.
Might as well. We got a bunch of fish to cook.
Well, Malcolm ain't gonna show up for it anyway. Be like this next one coming up.
Oh no, I'm in on anything fried contest. I'm in.
Oh, we got to do this at camp. This can't be done up here.
Why? Break 2 fry. Oh yeah, well,
I can't fry fish and not have a beverage.
I ain't gonna say it.
Go ahead.
You do some hush puppies up here, man. Whoever got the last place, that's gonna have to be a bad hush puppy. I can't cook hush puppies, but I ain't gonna be last. But that's all I got.
Yep. Go home tonight and pack for 20-degree weather.
Yep. Yeah, y'all gonna hit the road. Me and
Mikey and Malcolm got shorts on, and me and Mark finna go home and pack coveralls.
Yeah. We got a mission this weekend. We got to get a kid a turkey. We got to go to the
wild game
cook-off in Senatobia. And
I think that's gonna happen. I think we're gonna do a little turkey hunt and swing by that place.
we'll have to.
Need to.
Well, Mark, take us on out.
Well, we appreciate y'all listening. Y'all check out all the podcasts on all the platforms. Follow YouTube. We got some stuff coming out. Still got videos we should be releasing here in the next couple of weeks, I would imagine. Y'all check out the apparel on the website. And as always, if you got any questions, shoot it to us, and we'll try to answer it on a podcast if we see anything. We appreciate it.
We gone.